But normally I like to disappoint the people who follow me. Sometimes I switch my political positioning just to piss people off. Because I hated people. I don't like people liking me. This is the thing.
So all
this is me. No, but that's not what I'm doing now. I'm actually becoming a conservative. I'm not. Yeah. I'm actually I'm getting wiser when I'm getting older.
Okay.
But sometimes I do like pissing people who love me off just to kind of like see how loyal they can be.
Yeah. I was gonna ask.
And then if I have no friends left in the end, that would be kind of the goal.
Welcome to AM Hour. The soul of AM Hour is to encourage people to communicate. We believe in bridging the gaps with words. We believe in education. We believe in being a student of the world and expanding our boundary as a global citizen. In this hour, there will be flaws in our English, but that is not the essence of it. The key things are that we get to communicate, we get to bridge the gaps, and we get to be a global citizen. I hope we can agree on that and enjoy this hour. คุณปลื้มสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
ผมเจอคุณปลื้มครั้งสุดท้ายเกือบ10 ปีแล้วครับ
ไม่น่าเชื่อเป็นช่วงก่อนรัฐประหารปี57
ไม่น่าเชื่อ
ตอนนั้นผมไปออนแอร์ในอีกสถานีหนึ่งแล้วก็ให้สัมภาษณ์เรื่องเข้าใจว่าเรื่องการตรวจสอบการทุจริตคอร์รัปชันมั้งแล้วก็เป็นช่วงซึ่งการเมืองกำลังคุกรุ่นนะครับซึ่งก็คุยกันอย่างสนุกดีเสร็จแล้ววันนี้คุณเชิญผมมาว่าจะคุยภาษาอังกฤษ
ครับ
บังเอิญผมต้องบอกท่านผู้ชมกันผมต้องบอกคุณด้วยบังเอิญผมไม่นิยมใช้ภาษาอังกฤษเพราะว่าผมคิดว่าเวลาคนไทยพูดคุยกันเนี่ยจะต้องคุยกันด้วยภาษาไทยเพราะว่าผมไม่นิยมใช้ภาษาของเจ้านานิคมคือเวลาผมเห็นเด็กไทยคุยกันเนี่ยด้วยการใช้ภาษาอังกฤษเนี่ยผมค่อนข้างรำคาญและผมมองว่าเฮ้ยเราไม่ได้เป็นเมืองขึ้นเดี๋ยวคุยภาษาอังกฤษให้ไม่ต้องห่วงนะฮะสำหรับคนซึ่งเป็นห่วงนะฮะมีปมอยากใช้ภาษาอังกฤษเนี่ยเดี๋ยวผมพูดให้ฟังแต่วันนี้จะให้ความร่วมมือ
ขอบคุณคุณเปื้มมาก
ครับยินดีครับ
เราเข้าภาษาอังกฤษ
ได้ยินดีโอเคครับผมขออภัยด้วยนะเพราะว่าภาษาอังกฤษผมมันจะขึ้นสนิมผมเว้น through ก็เรียกว่าเดี๋ยวจะค่อยๆผมโอเค I have a difficult time speaking English to Thai people นะฮะเพราะฉะนั้น I'm gonna take a lot of time adjusting if okay so okay we'll do this
back to the days you were pretty hot
No, I was not hot. I was trying to make myself famous by doing TV shows to make an impact. But I was not seen as the cool, good-looking dude who was the hot celebrity. Yeah. I had a brief moment of fame, really. Only time where I sensed that I had a brief moment of fame was when I was on Channel 3. And I was...
How long was it?
Actually, it was only for 6 months. And because I was not able to handle the fame. But back in 2006, the original coup, General Sonthi Bunyarkalin in 2006, after that coup, I have a brief opportunity to appear on Channel 3 with Kun Sorayut, which was the highest rated morning news program in the country. So because I was there for 6 months, just 6 months, it gave me how should I put it? It gave me a launch pad for pretty much everything else that happened afterwards, up until today. So even with the recognition that I have today, it's really not anywhere close to the recognition that I had.
You can feel it, right?
Yeah, I'm not that famous today anymore. But back in 2006, it was real for a while. It was real for a while. But then I really couldn't handle the fame because it got to my head. I was really angry all the time, and then I woke up early, and I just felt like just completely involved with myself. Became a little bit too self-centered, and I was thinking about my success at that point a little bit too much. Even though I was not that successful, I thought I had reached the point of success. So I didn't handle the fame very well, and then I left on a bad note with Kun Sorayut, which I later went back to apologize to him, right? Because I think I went kind of insane over that.
How did he accept it?
Oh, he understood. I think he understood it. Because to tell you briefly, basically I was there for 6 months, and then all of a sudden I didn't want to go. It's the equivalent of like a basketball player not wanting to show up for a game, just because he thinks he can do it. You know? So it was a horrible move on my part, not to show up for a morning program that I was supposed to show up for, right? Just to tell myself one day that, why do we need to go, right? So I said, okay. So I realized after a while that was completely wrong on my part. So and this happened really while I was doing another show called แกะดำ แกะดำ is a game show. Okay, I don't know if you've ever watched it. It's actually it's one of my best work ever. It's a really great game show. It's very intelligent.
Channel 3
Yeah, Channel 3.
I watch it.
And a very well-known movie producer by the name of คุณหน่องพี่หน่องอนุโรชา is behind a lot of the most famous soap operas in the country that you have seen on Channel 3. พี่หน่อง came into kind of like the dressing room one day and she told me that don't you think you owe คุณประวิตรมาลีนนท์ Channel 3 at that time, the head boss, the big boss. She told me, don't you think you owe คุณประวิตรa little bit of just say a hello, but I think what she meant was that I needed to just
humble.
Yeah, be humble and go to him and apologize. So okay, so when Pinong reminded me of how I needed to behave and think about some of the people that I owe my fame to, so I went back to see Kun Prawit. I think I wrote him a letter. I think I also went back to see Kun Sorayut. So I apologized to them and told them I was wrong, and then told them that I owe my fame to them. And so I left on bad terms as a stupid young man. And so I learned from that. But that was not really the only thing I learned from. The biggest thing that happened to me was when I ran for the Bangkok gubernatorial elections. It's after I became a little bit famous, and that got to my head. Right, I was getting movie offers. I've got a movie. I had a movie.
Yeah, you were in a movie.
Yeah, ถอดรหัสวิญญาณ I had a movie. I had like a game show and another talk show, and I had like 2 other news program. And then after all of that, I also had money. And you won't believe that when I thought I had a lot of money, I thought, well, if I have my fame and if I have money now, I can run in politics. I can win. And just because I have my fame and I have my money, I can become the Bangkok governor. So this was the epiphany that I had in 2009. And I think the greatest thing that ever happened to me was the loss that I suffered because I lost all the money that I had. And that brought me down to the reality of how, well, if you think you have a lot of money, you can always lose it all, either in gambling or in politics. It would be worse if it's in gambling. You have gambling debt, but I lost it all in politics. So I learned another lesson. In a span of basically like 2.5 years, I have blown away my money and my fame. And so the lesson that I learned from that, the first lesson that I learned from my fiasco at Channel 3 is that don't ever let the fame get to you. You're just a normal person, and being on TV and doing all of this is just work. It's just like selling noodles. It's another day of work, right? It's just another line of work. There's nothing special about it. Just do it. It's work. Don't be picky. Don't complain. But with the issue with money is that I started to think that you can never let yourself become someone without money again, because it's an embarrassment to you and your family. So everything that I did after that was very careful. And I didn't want to get involved in politics because it would just require a lot of my money.
Yeah, but I like you back then, and I like you this version too. The version that you like put your feet on the
yeah. Well, you have to have, when you grow older, you have to have a little bit more wisdom. This is the whole point of what I'm trying to do now. I've become more conservative because I have realized that most of the news anchors in this industry are liberals. And so, I've gotten to the point where I think that there are not a lot of adults left to tell kids what to do. So I need to be the adults in the room sometimes.
So is it that you are really conservatives, or you see that everyone is a liberals?
Oh, I'm real conservative as well. I mean, like by background, I'm very much of a what do you call this? Well-mannered guy, right?
Educational
And
background groom you.
It's really upbringing. It's not education. It's upbringing. But no, it's about how I'm obedient towards older people, and I have my manners when I'm with people who are older, and I have certain expectations of younger people and of a woman as well. And so it's really quite old-fashioned in that sense. And I think a little bit of that is not going to hurt in a society that is becoming increasingly more liberal. And so, and I think the older generations of well-respected celebrities who would lecture you about Thailand is a lot of them now are not doing that because they are past their prime. They're not on TV anymore. So hopefully I'm going to be doing some of that in the media when I see things that are not supposed to be happening. And so with some wisdom, you become more conservative. But I was always a conservative. But I just wanted democracy. When I was talking about politics, it was just about having elections and having the winner of an election being able to form a government and not having military coup. It was really basic stuff, right? I was not trying to create some sort of a leftist utopia in Thailand, but because the military establishment has been able to control power for a long time, it has created a leftist liberal backlash that is quite strong. So Thailand is at the moment trying to find a happy medium sometimes in between, somewhere in between. And so hopefully we can have that.
So assuming Pitha becoming prime minister, I have to assume this because the next question is that do you like where Thailand is going right now?
I don't know where Thailand is going politically, but as a country and as a culture, hopefully we will maintain the kind of characteristic that we have always had and have been a great place to live and travel in. So I'm giving you kind of an ambiguous answer because I don't want to say that I'm supportive of any particular government or supportive of any particular political party. I'm trying to be apolitical now. So it's a different point in my life. It's a different, see, I told you, I'm being more careful now with everything. I'm not going to jump into the fray and tell you, I love this guy, I hate this guy. And I've come to realize that everybody is good and bad in their own way. And everybody has their own reasons for doing what they're doing. And so I'm going to be unambiguous. I don't like any particular I don't like any particular political party or persons, but
Okay.
I mean, just
What should Thailand keeps then?
you keep pretty much everything. No, I want to ask you back. What don't you like about Thailand? Because the way you phrase that question, you hand over the responsibility to me of what we should and should not keep. No, I'm not going to pick and choose about what's good about Thailand. I think we know what's good about Thailand, living here. But I think I see this problem in every country. I see a lot of young people growing up in their own countries, thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. You see young people growing up in Thailand thinking that life is heaven in Scandinavia. So I think you have this really, in France too. In France, you have young immigrants. Actually, not young immigrants. You have sons and daughters of immigrants whose first generation parents had it tough, moving from war-torn countries. and getting immigration status in France. And then you have the younger second generation and sometimes third generation not realizing what they have. And then, protesting all the time about quote unquote inequalities when there's actually already equality in France. And so I see a lot of young people who are brought up to be unhappy about their own country. And I have a solution for this. Nobody's going to implement it, but I'm sure if you implement it, it will solve a lot of problems. You ship these people to go live in a country of their choice and let them be there for 3 years. I guarantee you that all of them will miss their original home country. You ship a Thai kid who complained about life here, ship him to boring Finland, live in the countryside with nothing but snow, no nightlife, no nothing, quietness for 3 years. I guarantee you they will miss here, even if they lived here in poverty. I'm saying that seriously as well, to anyone who make like ridiculous complaints about their own country.
People might say that you are.
I'm not privileged. This is where you're going. You were going to say you are privileged. This is the idea. This is what I'm talking about now. People think that it's all about privilege and underprivilege. We're all equal. You can actually make it in life. But it takes like probably 2 generations you can actually become rich. But you can get there. If you started with nothing, right? By the end of your life, you may have, let's say, I don't know, 50 million baht, right? You save that for your kid. Your kid should have like 100 million baht by the end of his life. It can happen. But I'm not saying the opportunities are perfect. But Thailand is not that bad. I'm not kidding. But I cannot say that in Thai. Eventually, if I run for politics, somebody's going to translate that sentence and it will be perceived wrongly. Okay. Turn. Okay.
But, okay, I'm just playing devils. I'm just playing.
No, a winner is a winner in wherever he is.
I know, but I'm playing devil's advocate here. Think about your.
ผมรู้แล้วแอนมันเป่าลงโอเคไม่เป็นไรแต่คุยได้เกือบจาม
Okay. Think about my father and your father. You get a chance to study in the UK, in the US. Yes. But I was born in Nakhon Sawan.
Okay.
I mean, like it just you have that advantage.
Having a good education is good, but I have that advantage because of my parents, right? Everybody who's born to parents who are willing to give the best for their children is lucky. I'm not arguing against that. I am actually saying it's up to the parents. I'm not saying I'm just saying it's not up to any governments. It's not up to the state. Whether or not your kid will have a great opportunity depends on you. So you're right to make that point, right? I had these opportunities because my parents gave me the opportunities, right? But what the argument that you hear a lot now is how people must be given opportunities by governments. I'm telling you that the government is inefficient at doing the kind of things that you want to do. The things that you have in your life, most of the good things are not from the government, right? With the exception of roads and traffic services and electricity, most of the good things that you have in your life are from the businessmen who hired your parents to work. You could argue that most of the things that we have in our life really emanates from that private sector employee or public sector employee. It's the same thing. But I'm saying it's not quote unquote what the government can service to you. So individually for every family, it's about how well you take care of your kids. It is a competition between people living in the same society. I don't argue against. I think if you're impoverished, you need some help from the government. And you need free public service in terms of transportation and healthcare. I agree with all of that. What I don't like is people growing up in every country complaining that they don't get a handout from the government. When they complain about inequality, it's like that is an international phenomenon. It is a fixture of the global capitalist economy. It's not special. It's not a unique, singular country phenomenon. That's kind of the message that I have. It sounds like cold-blooded, but I'm just stating the truth. I just don't like when people say, oh, we have inequality because of bad government. No. The government can only do handouts so much. It can only restructure the economy so much. The government is good at taking money from the people who own the money, from the people who create jobs. Right? Okay, and then take the money and then they use that to dish out projects and so forth. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But what I'm saying is that whenever you hear people talking about the government is bad because it's unable to lower the amount of inequality, you know what ends up happening when you say that? The government merely takes in more taxes just to get you to take that argument away. I'm just telling you there's no point to complain about inequality because it's a fixture of the capitalist economy. Now, there's a point to complain about it and then improve the situation in your life. But the government is not the one to help you.
Okay, I'll share this only because of like the audience watching this. But two things can be right at the same time.
Yep.
Right? I mean,
people
can work hard, but also expect the government, Thai government, to be better.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that here's the thing. You're right. Two things can be true at the same time. I'm saying is that you can study well, right? Get good grades and work hard and not be successful and not have the kind of money that you want to have, right? And be stuck. And you can do that. But then at the same time realize that even if there's a change in government, you will probably be stuck at the same level. So what I'm saying is that I just hate it when I hear this complaint because it's launched in every country and it's blamed at every of their own government. It's normally, and here's the thing, it's like this. The description of the symptom is true. Okay, right? Poverty, being stuck in poverty, not having the opportunities to do all of this and that, okay. The description is true, but then it always ends up being somebody in the media or somebody in politics, coming out to say that you're stuck in that situation because Thailand is like this and like this, and I'm not in charge. It's selling a false dream. That's what I have a problem with. It's selling a false dream as if you were doing the same thing and you were living in New York, you'll be a millionaire probably. It's not. That's not true. Now, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that you could probably put some blame on a lot of things, but little of it has to do with the country. It may not have to do with the country. It may just have to do with the structure of the economy.
Globally.
See, but if you think it's a problem you become like a true international anti-capitalist leftist. I'm telling you to not think of it as a problem. If you think of inequality as a problem, it's like a highway to becoming like Greta Thunberg. It's a highway to becoming a protester. Inequality is not a good thing. But I'm not sure it's a problem you can solve. You can help others with your money. You can help other people with your money. But I don't think it's a problem that the state can solve. Because when the state believes inequality is a problem that it can solve, then it simply starts taking more money, which is part of the problem. because the only people really who have the intelligence and the flexibility to give out good jobs are the people who created the money in the first place. Unless you want a lot of state sector jobs, which is not productive in the end. A lot of this sound heartless, but what I hate about the protests about income inequality is that it just allows for politicians and media types just to campaign. And then it doesn't really lead anywhere. That's the thing. That's why the message has to be with, something else.
We are reaching final 5 minutes and I have 2 mandatory
Okay.
questions. The
Okay.
first one, I want to talk about all this like entertainment news person, all the memes, and I can start by asking you, do you know the guy who created the page that
Oh,
I don't remember the name of the
I mean, Bloom without context.
yeah. Do you know?
I didn't know him originally, but he was very good at it. I got the opportunity to have a conversation briefly with him via another guy who hosted a
Did you
a
get to meet him?
podcast. I didn't meet him in person.
You chat with him.
I chat with him on camera like this with about 10 other person. But I forgot what he looked like, his face. But apparently he's a big fan. And but normally I like to disappoint the people who follow me because I sometimes I switch my political positioning just to piss people off. Because I hated people. I don't like people liking me. This is the thing.
So all
This is me. No, but that's not what I'm doing now. I'm actually becoming a conservative. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm getting wiser when I'm
Okay.
getting older.
Okay.
But sometimes I do like pissing people who love me off, just to kind of like see how loyal they can be.
Yeah. I was gonna ask. Like,
And then if I have no friends left in the end, that would be kind of the goal. So I'm quite surprised that Bloom without context has stuck with me, despite my unpredictable stance on politics. And so
And last must ask question is that the last hour we spent time discussing in English. How do you find this experience? Like I sometimes I invited
you want the truth? You want the truth?
Yeah, but let me finish
Here's
first.
the thing. I think your English is fine, and I view the usage of the English language. Now I'm going to hurt a lot of people's feelings.
Bring it.
When I was in the U.S., and you have to air this part. When I was in the U.S., I enjoy my times talking to, Vietnamese Americans and Mexican Americans and Asian Americans who lived abroad. Whenever I met a Thai, I always loved it, and I really didn't like being in a country where my language was not spoken as the
stuck in
first
Thailand
language. So I love the Thai language, and it's the language of my home country, and I view the English language as a language of the colonial masters. Now, so I don't really see the need for this program. No, here's the thing. No, I really truly believe that. If you talk to the Chinese politicians, you have to use an interpreter, right? They're not going to speak English to you even if they can. So whenever I become the prime minister, I am going to freaking use an interpreter.
Can I just try to defend myself?
But if you're trying to learn English, then this is an extremely intelligent program that you need. Okay, it's good for the young people.
I didn't need to defend it.
But I encourage the young people to go out and young people have to embrace the Thai language. And the language skills, the Thai language skills of young people in this country could be improved by a lot. I think they're teaching a little bit too much English in school. I want to maintain whatever we have in cuisine, in language, in arts, right? And that's my fear is that all of that will go away, You know, and I deep down I believe that all of that will eventually go away, and that's why I'm sad when I see you trying to speak English. But I'm still happy that your Thai is better than your English.
It is.
It is. I'm happy that it is.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
This is how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
I would literally hate you if your English was better than your Thai.
Okay.
It would almost disqualify you as a Thai person.
Yeah. But you can feel me that in a short term there's a need for English language as a tool for many of them when they like need to work.
Yeah, when they want to become global citizens, which I hate the most, that term, because people need to have their national affiliation. Like I just don't. Okay, but I'm going along with you. You know what you're trying to do, but
You don't have to at all. You don't have to at all.
I see a lot of parents who want their kids
I'm
to
loving this.
become global citizen. At the end of the day, you'll come back home, and you'll realize a lot of the bullshit associated with that term. ครับผม
Okay. I hope next time it's not going to be another 9 years that I get to talk to you.
It might be because because this is what I found as of late. I enjoy this interview, but I normally
If I invite you next time, next year, you're not coming back?
no, it depends on what it's about. I think I would come back, but I think when I'm on TV now, right, and I do my show in the morning, and I love talking to the camera by myself. People think that I want to debate issues with others. I don't. I hate hearing different opinions. I hate it, but I'm forced to do it. People think I like engaging in conversation. I hate people who think different from me. I don't.
We need another
Yeah.
episode talking about working in voice TV.
Yeah, that could be fun, but I don't want to talk about other people
Okay.
because it would just bring
see
other
you
people
being-
into the argument.
Being the judge of the panel, and it's like so much fun for me watching it.
Okay.
Thank you for
ขอบคุณ
coming.
ครับ
ขอบคุณมากครับ
ขอบคุณครับ
I will end the show by ไหว้ยิงอยู่
ครับครับ
It's like we are Thai
ครับครับ
ขอบคุณมากครับคุณปื้มครับ